Spartanburg, South Carolina was recently named the 12th fastest growing place in the entire country by U.S. News and World Report. Spartanburg is about 30 minutes northeast of Greenville, South Carolina, on the way to Charlotte, North Carolina. It is not quite as big as Greenville, but it has a lot of good things going for it. I lived there for 5 years, and in this video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Be sure to stick around until the end because you're definitely going to want to know about the cons that I mentioned. Let's do it. As always, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the Upstate of South Carolina. And it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about the Upstate of South Carolina. And if you're seriously considering relocating to our area, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comments. We would love to interact with you and meet you there in the comments. Spartanburg has a population of 40,000 people in the city and just about 330,000 in the county. It's one of the fastest growing places in the entire country, let alone the state of South Carolina, and there's a lot of good things going for it. BMW USA is headquartered here in Spartanburg County. Their largest plant in the entire world is here in Spartanburg County as well. All of the X Series SUVs that you see riding down the road was made right here in Spartanburg. And with the introduction of BMW to the Upstate in the 1990s, a lot of their vendors as well followed suit. So BMW employs well over 30,000 people in the Upstate, and it's located right there in Spartanburg. So there's a ton of industry and manufacturing here in Spartanburg County, and it is certainly a big driver of their economy. So let's get into the pros of Spartanburg. So pro #1 is gonna be affordability. The average home price in Spartanburg County right now is about $300,000. That's about $75,000 cheaper than in Greenville County. Home prices in 2023 rose about 4.5% year over year. And I do expect home prices to slowly and gradually tick up for the next several decades as more demand meets our market and we continue to have a shortage of homes for sale. It's much more affordable to own a home there, and your real estate property taxes are generally cheaper in Spartanburg County. Usually they come in a couple to a few $100s a year cheaper than in Greenville County. Interestingly enough, except for Greer. So Greer is a city in Spartanburg County. We've covered this town on the channel. Well, the property taxes in Greer tend to be a little bit higher. I'm not really sure why that is. I would assume it's making up for the huge tax break that BMW received when they put their plant here. And now, over the course of however many years, the property owners in Greer are having to make up for that tax gradually. So if you're thinking about moving to Greer, just keep that in mind that property taxes in Greer are slightly higher than the averages in Greenville and Spartanburg. And as a whole, Spartanburg County property taxes are going to be less than they are in Greenville County. So pro #2 would be that the downtown of Spartanburg is changing and that skyline is getting a lot bigger and better. Since I lived there about 6 years ago, downtown has gotten a whole lot better. The redesign of the Montgomery building on South Church Street was really the catalyst to a lot of this revitalization in downtown Spartanburg. They have tenants such as the Pharmacy Coffee and the Oxford Barber Company are in the Montgomery building now. And in addition to the Montgomery building, there are plans for millions and millions of dollars to be pumped into downtown Spartanburg, including Main Street Towers, which the last I heard is in the design process and is a $75 million proposed development of 3 towers right there on Main Street. One of them in the middle is going to be 11 stories high, and 2 on either side are going to be 7 or 6 stories high. There's going to be a mix of retail space, residential space, and more. All of this is right up the street from the Grain District, where you have Cribb's Kitchen, RJ Rocker's Brewing Company, Freight Yard, and other great bars and restaurants and places to hang out, with many of the festivals that they have throughout the year in downtown Spartanburg for you and your family to enjoy. So my third pro is a robust economy in Spartanburg. I think their economy is on the rise, and it's in large part due to being one of the fastest growing places in the entire country. Places like BMW, Denny's, yes, Denny's, has their headquarters here in Spartanburg. Other companies like Milliken, which is world-renowned, OTO Development has their headquarters there, and Johnson Development is also there. And it's not only corporations and manufacturing in Spartanburg that's a driver of their economy. Spartanburg is home to over 6 colleges and universities, including my alma mater, Wofford College. It is a college town in a sense, but it doesn't feel like a college town at all. So a lot of folks in the higher education space live here, play here, and work here. And very importantly, there are a few major health systems here in Spartanburg, most notably Spartanburg Regional Health Center, which has a level 1 trauma center, as well as Mary Black. I just sold a home to a young couple. They were relocating to work in Mary Black and Spartanburg Regional Hospital. So Spartanburg can't be all peaches and cream, can it? So let's talk about some negatives. So con number 1 is gonna be the weather. So in addition to being hot, of course, I mean, we're in South Carolina. Every day during the summertime, between 4 and 6 o'clock, there seems to sprout up a rain shower. I don't know why, I don't know where it comes from, but pretty much every day during the summer when I lived in Spartanburg, it would rain for at least 30 minutes. So while it's good for grass and it's good for your flower beds, it's hard to keep your car clean, and it's super inconvenient when you're just trying to go about your day and not get rained on. And con number 2 is going to be job opportunities. So a lot of the clients that I work with that end up buying a home in Spartanburg County, 1, either work remote, or 2, commute to Greenville County to work. And it makes sense, right? Because Spartanburg just isn't as big as a place like Greenville. And if you're not taking a corporate job or a healthcare job, there just aren't as many job opportunities there in Spartanburg for small businesses and their employees and so on. And my con number 3 is going to be traffic. So it's not as bad if you're on like these back streets and side streets as it can be in Greenville, just because the population isn't as dense. However, if you're coming home from work and it's 5 o'clock and you're on Interstate 85, and let's say you work north of Spartanburg, in between Spartanburg and say Gaffney or Kings Mountain, and you have to go through Gaffney on the interstate every day, that is one of the most dangerous stretches of highway in the entire country. Many people have said that, many articles have said that. And if you're coming back from Greenville to Spartanburg, it's not going to be quite as bad as going from Spartanburg to Greenville, but traffic on Interstate 85 can get backed up, especially if there's a wreck. So traffic can be pretty bad here in Spartanburg County, especially at rush hour. And the 4th and final con that I'll mention about Spartanburg is the crime there. So according to neighborhoodscout.com, let's say the safest place in America has a score of 100. Well, if you type in Spartanburg, it has a score of 1. So that means Spartanburg, according to that site, is safer than 1% of the other places in the entire country. So depending on where you are in Spartanburg, it can be pretty crime-ridden. And I think Spartanburg gets a pretty bad rap for their widely known crime rates. And I think it's specific to certain parts of the county. However, if that's something that is important to you and your family, and that is a consideration of yours when figuring out where you're going to relocate to, whether if it's going to be Spartanburg, if it's going to be Greenville, certainly something to pay attention to and do your own research on. So be sure to check out websites like that to make sure that you're fully informed on the places that you are considering relocating to. So all in all, it's no surprise that Spartanburg is the 12th fastest growing place in the entire country. There's affordable housing, there's a lot of things to do, and there's a very robust economy. But there are some drawbacks that you and possibly your family definitely should consider before making the move there. And if any of these considerations are concerning to you, or if you want to talk more about Spartanburg and what it could offer you and your family, please do me a favor. Shoot me a text at my cell phone number below, or shoot me an email at my email below. I would love to chat with you about what a potential relocation to the upstate of South Carolina, including Spartanburg, could look like for you and possibly your family. As always, my name is Will Sawyer, and until next time, be safe. Well, this video is going to be about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All time, we're right behind me is a really cool place called Freight.